So I was doing a presentation the other day, and one of the advisors on the presentation was asking me about cash. And I'm not a fractional CFO, I'm purely on the tax side, but I thought it was a really interesting question because one of the first questions that I go through in the assessment process with advisors is asking them about, okay, so where are you trying to drive the business? What are the specific goals that you have? Do you have specific goals? Who are you going to be hiring next? Like all those kinds of questions. And for the question of, okay, well, how much cash reserves should we have? There's always the boilerplate 6 months of operating expenses, but it really depends, right? And I think the cash position shows a lot of the time a couple of things really important about the business, just the overall health of the business, like how tight is the cash balance, but then strategically what's going on in the business, and how are you deploying that capital? Because I think for a lot of advisors, they don't realize this, that it's really, you're looking at kind of the two financial statements that we look at, the profit and loss statement and the balance sheet. They tell me a whole story about what's going on in the business, between here's the operating activities and the overall profitability of the organization. But then on the balance sheet, it's like, well, how are we actually funding everything? Are we going to run out of cash? Are we going to run out of oxygen? Do we have enough capital? Like, do we have, what kind of paid in capital do we have? How well is it performed? And then on the debt side, do we have enough clearance and enough access to cash that if we're dealing with these huge quarterly deposits and really uneven cash flows, that we're going to be able to float all of our expenses, either by supporting it by debt or supporting it from a cash position that's coming from excess profitability that's been retained within the company.